Hi friends, Jess here. Welcome or welcome back. Today is going to be another fun episode. I mentioned last week that I had gone to Pennsylvania, and while I was there I did some thrifting with some friends, and of course I told you about visiting the Dollar Tree and how all Dollar Trees are not created equal, and got some special Dollar Tree things there, packed it all in my suitcase and brought it back here. So we are in March. I'm so excited, especially for my family and friends up north who have been battling the snow. Here in Florida, we are not suffering too much from the winter. So I'm excited that spring is on its way for my northern friends. But March also means Easter's coming. And I found some really cute Easter things that I want to show you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to start our Easter decorating. Here in our house, we celebrate the resurrection of Jesus after his crucifixion on the cross. We still love the bunnies and the flowers and the Easter eggs. Of course, I mean, it's a sign of spring. Spring is new life. But for us, it is not just about the Easter bunny. But I found some really cute bunnies when I was thrifting. And I'm going to show you guys what I found. And we'll get to upcycling them and decorating our home and see what we can do. So let's get into it. These here were some dollar store finds. I'm just showing you guys so that you know that if you don't see them at your Dollar Tree, visit another Dollar Tree. You might see them, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with all these things, but I'm sure we'll figure something out. So this was just an egg garland. It was $5 at the Dollar Tree. So in the dollar plus section, but they're super cute. They're speckled pastel colored eggs on a garland. These are other Dollar Tree finds. This was $1.25. These are just some carrots that look like they maybe are made from some yarn or string of some sort. These I found at the thrift shop. They're little egg ornaments. So there's several colors of them. They have bows on them. And you can hang them up with the ribbon. So different colors of those. I want to go kind of fast so we're not spending too much time, but I did get quite a bit of stuff. I got 6 of these. They came in several different colors. They're these bigger eggs. They feel like styrofoam underneath, but they are wrapped in a string with a ribbon. Got these at the Dollar Tree. They were $1.25 a piece. So, like I said, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with everything yet, but we'll find something. I'll get into a little bit of the thrifted things in a second here, but a couple more Dollar Tree things. These are salt and pepper shakers. They came in a pack, of course, salt and pepper. I'm not going to use them for salt and pepper, but we'll do a cute little craft with these. Actually, my idea is I found this at the thrift shop, this sweet little cloche, and I thought it would be cute to display them in there, at least, one of them. So we'll see. Another Dollar Tree item that I found was this cute little set of eggs in the egg carton. It's like a cardboard egg carton, some gold eggs. It's kind of cute as is, just like to display like that, but of course I just can't leave anything as is. That's just not how my brain works. Another Dollar Tree find was this little basket. It just gave me bird nest vibes, so pick that up. And I think that is all of the Dollar Tree items that I wanted to show you. But just so that you know that they're out there, and if they're not at your Dollar Tree, make sure you check around. So, like I said, we will be upcycling them and using them for some Easter crafts, not leaving them as they are. So, starting in on the thrift store finds, I wanted to show you guys what I had already here. This was from the thrift shop. It's just a glass jar. I keep nuts in it instead of candy because, gotta be healthy. But anyway, this was sitting on my coffee table And when I was at the thrift store, I found 2 more of them in different sizes. So I found this larger one. This was $3.99 at Goodwill. And then I found a taller one, and this was $3.99. But I thought that it would be cute with some Easter candy in it. And my daughter and son-in-law are coming to visit, and I think that he likes candy. Because I like candy, and him and I like a lot of the same things. So anyway, I want to fill it with candy so that they can have a little treat while they're here. So now I have a set of 3, so I thought it would be really cute to do a grouping of different kinds of Easter candy, and it will act as decor as well. Also, while at the thrift shop, now this one I got in Pennsylvania. I got this one in Pennsylvania, and I wrapped it really good in my clothes and packed it in my suitcase. So this is super cute, and I will leave this as is, but look at this. This is a sweet plate, and it does have like a signature on the back. I love the scalloped edges, and I loved the florals, but it came with this bowl. So it's kind of like a 2-piece set. So we'll definitely use this to serve some Easter treats and Easter goodies, but it was $7. But it was a 2-piece set. And I also love, if you can see there, it has like the speckles on it, just like the Easter eggs. So I don't know. It kept catching my eye, and I almost was like, I'm not going to pay $7 for it. But the scalloped edges got me. So I brought that home from the thrift shop. Another thing I found, this was $3, was this Peter Rabbit tin. I think it used to be like a tea tin. Yes, English breakfast tea was once in this. But I thought this was super cute, and I'm sure we can find something for Easter. I tend, you know, if you've been around for a while, you know, like I tend to lean more towards neutral colors. But of course, Easter, you want to bring some like cheer and brightness in, but I do tend to stick a little bit more to pastel, especially at Easter time. I found this cute bunny. It was $1.99 at Goodwill. So we'll use that in our decor. I found this gold bowl with a bunny on it. I don't know, this bunny does kind of give me some creepy vibes. I'm not sure if it's the way its eyes are or how pointed the ears are, but I don't know. We'll make it cute. It's a little too bright gold for me, but I thought it was cute anyway. And it was $3.99 at Goodwill. I also found this Peter Rabbit plate. This I actually found in the Goodwill bins, not on my trip this time, but probably last summer. And I thought it was really cute, so I did get it. I found a set of these bunnies. I'm not quite sure like what their intention is, you know, like I thought maybe they were for like candles, but there's not really a place for a candlestick to go in, and they're not quite the right size for like a tea light, maybe a votive, or maybe they're like the egg holders. I don't know, but they were $1.99 each at Goodwill. So I grabbed them. And I did get this. I thought this would be cute to decorate and display. It's a 2-tier wire, I don't know what you call these, tray, 2-tier wire tray. But Got this at Goodwill. I don't see a price on it anymore, but thought that'd be really fun to decorate for Easter. These I found, they kind of match my decor right now. Like they're not necessarily Easter colors, but I have like a lot of dark greens and burnt oranges in my living room. And I found these, they have the rabbit on them. Can you see it there? So it's a set of pillowcases. They were $1.99 for the set. Found these at Goodwill. I probably wouldn't necessarily have picked these up, except they are like the colors that I decorate with. So we'll see. We'll try them out. The other thing that I wanted to show you was this. I found this at Goodwill. It was $7.99. It is from Hearth and Hand by Magnolia. It's a faux plant. And I want to take these out and use them to decorate a small shelf that we have underneath our TV. So we'll go ahead and take that faux plant apart and use it to fill in some of that space, and then maybe we can decorate that. And then the last thing I wanted to show you, and I know I've showed you this before, my intention for this is a curtain that I got at Goodwill. My intention for this was to make pillowcases for my bedroom, and I have enough of it that I might still do that. You can see there. This is the one my husband said was granny chic, or I said was granny chic, and then he's like, yeah, it reminds me of my mom. So I thought it would be kind of fun though to make a garland out of it, or like a banner. It's floral and it's pastel, and that reminds us of spring. And so I want to use it up because I did get it. I paid money for it. And so I want to use it. And I might still make pillows. I have like 3 of these. So we'll see what we get into. But for now, let's go get started and see what we can make and how we can upcycle these items that we got from the thrift store and the Dollar Tree into spring Easter decor. Let's go.
I had found this tea towel at the thrift shop a while back, so it was in my stash and got all kinds of wrinkles. So I'm just using my steamer here to de-wrinkle it, and I'm going to lay that over the coffee table for our candy jars. And I love this steamer. It is one of the best things that I have found, and I really wish that I would have found it sooner in my life. It is amazing. You just add water and you can steam anything. And here I'm adding the Easter candy to the jars. And again, it is serving the purpose of decor. And I get to use my cool thrifted jars that I found, and also a sweet treat that we usually do not have around our house. But since we have guests coming this weekend, my daughter and her son-in-law, I wanted to have something sweet around. I did end up adding the wicker placemat underneath that I found at IKEA a long time ago, but I just thought that that gave it kind of Easter basket vibes. What's your favorite Easter candy? Comment down below. Let me know. Do you love the Peeps? Do you not love the Peeps? What's your go-to Easter treat? Next, we are going to work on this Easter egg garland. Again, I found the Easter egg garland at the Dollar Tree. It was $5 in the Dollar Plus section. And my idea here is to take the fabric, cut it into strips, and make a garland for underneath our TV. The green color egg on the garland was a little bit too bright, so I was trying to figure out what color I could paint it that would match both the fabric and the other eggs on the garland. So I went with the gold. And the first thing I wanted to do was to protect the twine in between, the jute twine. So I used painter's tape and I covered the twine with the painter's tape so that when I spray painted it, it did not get painted. After that was all covered and protected, I went ahead and spray painted those green eggs gold, and then I got to working on ripping the fabric. I wanted to use the lace as well, so I removed that first. After I had that lace removed, then I went ahead and began ripping the fabric in strips. I used the scissors to help get started. And then once there was a slit in the fabric, it was easy to just tear it apart. But I wanted the frayed edges. I just thought that that would give it a more interesting look. And this took a little bit of time, so I sped it up for you here so you didn't have to watch it for an hour. But you can see my pile getting bigger there in the back. And then after I had all my pieces, I did go in and use a little bit of black spray paint to give the gold eggs that I had painted some speckles. And then we removed that painter's tape. And then I was ready to begin alternating the fabrics and tying them in between the garland. I did put the eggs in sections of 2 eggs and then some twine so that I could tie the fabric and then 2 more eggs. So I evenly spaced them so that we could tie the fabric in between. And I had a piece of fabric left over from a few weeks ago when we did the Refresh Your Bedroom episode and made those pillows. I had just a little bit of fabric left over from that, but it was so springy. There it is. Had such a spring feeling that I was like, I'm going to save this for when I do the garland. So again, we just cut the slits, tore that, and this really frayed when I tore it. And I ended up cutting a lot of that fringe off because I felt like it was just a little bit too much. But I do love this fabric, and so I wanted to incorporate that in the garland. And after I had all the fabric tore, I began tying them to the jute twine. And I started out by just tying a knot, and I didn't really like that look because the ends of it kind of went in opposite directions, like the tail of the knot. So I decided the better option would be to fold the fabric in half, make a loop at the top, take the tails through the loop, and then pull it tight. And both of the strings or the ends of the ribbon would hang down straight then. So I alternated the granny chic fabric with the lace and then the leftover fabric that we had from the pillows. And they were not even here, but you'll see later on I do go in and just give everything a trim. I take off some of the extra strings that were hanging down, and I really was happy with how this came out at the end. And if you guys are still there, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to make some new friends here on our channel. Engage with me a little bit. Like share, subscribe, comment down below. What are your favorite Easter traditions? And here I hung the garland on the shelf that we have hanging underneath our TV. And like I said, I just went in and evened everything out a bit, pulled the excess strings off that were hanging down. And yeah, I think it's very shabby chic. It's so cute. I love the Easter colors. I love the florals that are in there. And of course, eggs, Easter eggs are always a sign of spring and new life. Here is the finished look. Tell me what you guys think. Would you have done anything different? Would you have added anything? Taken anything away? I think it came out really pretty and I'm happy with it. So just a way to take a Dollar Tree item, upcycle it a little bit, add your own special touches, and it gives it a whole new look and it looks a whole lot more expensive and you never know that it came from the Dollar Tree. And here are the pillowcases. You know, there's not a whole lot of upcycling. I'm just reusing some pillows that I already had. And after I washed and ironed those pillowcases, just plopping them on. Here I tried to put it over top of this pillowcase, but then I was like, no, it's a great time to take these pillowcases off, to wash them and iron them and get them ready to put back on. And so I went ahead and just took that off and replaced it with these pillowcases. And if you've been around for a while, you know kind of what our house decor looks like. We had painted that hutch a while ago in that deep green color. And of course, our pillows here are this kind of burnt orangish color or rusty. And so I thought these pillows went well with this decor. Even though it's not that pastel color that I love at Easter time, I still thought it matched well in the house. And for now, I think they're a great fit for the season. If I had an endless budget, I would definitely swap out the gray sectional for a different color. But, you know, that's not the case, so we make do with what we have. And the last project that we're going to have time for today is another garland. This time we are going to be using the Dollar Tree and thrifted items that we found. So I wanted to go ahead and paint these eggs. Not because the colors were awful, except maybe that green and the yellow's kind of bright, but I wanted them to look a lot less plastic, and I love the way brush strokes kind of soften up an item. So I made some custom paint colors here just by mixing paints together with my paintbrush, and these are just acrylic paints. And here I put a knife in my cabinet to hang them to dry. So you have to get creative sometimes. But I did use the painter's tape to protect the ribbon, and I went ahead and painted using whatever paints I had around, basically, and gave them a little bit more of a muted look. So I just repeated this process with all of the eggs and chose different color paints, of course, for each one. And then we moved on to the carrots that we found at the Dollar Tree. First thing I did here was used my muted color green, or my more like pastel color, I guess, and painted the tops so they were not so bright. And then I did go in and I painted half of them with a different color orange so that I could alternate them on the garland. After everything was dried, I wanted to write "He is risen" on the eggs. So I just used a Sharpie marker to do this. And it seemed to work out great. You could also use a paint pen or even just paints if you have a steady hand. But for me, the Sharpie marker worked just fine. I then began assembling everything. I just used the jute twine and the loops of the ribbon that the eggs already had on them, and put them all in order, and then space them out how I wanted them. And then in between each word, I decided to hot glue on 3 carrots. And while you're watching this portion, I will have to tell you that the weekend has now come and gone, and the candy also has come and gone. So next week, we are going to do a part 2 of the rest of the Easter decor and upcycling the thrift store finds and Dollar Tree finds that I have. And I will have to replace the centerpiece now that is on the coffee table because, like I said, we don't have candy around here usually, so when it is here, we can barely control ourselves. And I will say, it wasn't just my son-in-law. I ate plenty of that candy too, which is a great reminder that I can't have it around here. And here is the final look of the He is Risen garland using the thrifted eggs that I found, the Dollar Tree carrots. We upcycled them just a bit with some paint and the Sharpie marker, and put everything on that jute twine. I do kind of feel like it's missing just a little something. Not quite sure what, but I'm going to leave it for now. Comment down below. Let me know, what would you add to this garland to fill it in just a little bit more? That wraps up this week's episode. Stay tuned next week to see what we do with the rest of our thrifted and Dollar Tree finds. I hope that you guys feel inspired to tackle some projects on your own. And until next week, I hope that you guys have a great week.